So 3 days ago, we went into a birthing center, and now we're leaving with a baby.
They let us take one.
As far as what happened between then and now, I'm not 100% sure, and I don't really want to talk about it.
Same.
Okay, hello everyone. For those of you who don't know, I'm Christine.
I'm Noel.
We are Love to Voyage, and we wanted to tell you our birth story. Specifically me, it was like giving birth and pregnancy was one of the scariest things I thought I would ever do. It was my biggest fear in life. And when I would look up all of these things or talk to people about their experiences, I got a lot of, I don't want to use the word traumatizing because that's also a very traumatizing word, but I got a lot of just hiccups along the way. There were things that were unexpected, and a lot of things on YouTube to get views is very much, here's a negative.
Shock factors.
Yeah, it's shock factor, exactly. It really is. It's like everything was going to plan and then emergency C-section. Yeah. And like, that's not the kind of stuff that women need to be seeing.
Subjected to. Yeah.
Right. And you can say, don't Google, don't YouTube, don't any of those things. But unfortunately, we live in a media world, and that is, things are coming across. And then if you just talk to your people in real life, they're also giving you the, oh, just wait, then there's this, and this happened to me, and my mom's sister's daughter had this happen, and it comes to you regardless. So what we wanted to do, as the title of this video, is to give you a peaceful and positive and intentional pregnancy and birth experience. We're just going to talk about the birth. I am going to link in the show notes the actual podcast episode that I did on my podcast of my pregnancy experience, all the things that helped me, the mommy groups, the birthing course I took, all the things that helped me get my mind right. And that, I think, is a huge resource, because when I look back at all the things I did, I know that, and I think you can attest to that, there were so many things that we did that was like, oh my gosh, that made all the difference in the world to give us peace of mind. So that is a resource as well, but we're not going to talk on that right here. We're just going to talk about the birth, because he was a huge part of that, obviously, and I want his perspective for the men in your life, because I think that's huge to understand. So we're just going to jump right in. Okay. Birth started, labor, let's say. Yeah. Because again, I don't like it when women say, well, how long were you in labor? And then these women go, 40 hours. And you're just like, what? That already is so terrifying. Yeah. That's not really how it goes. You're not in labor, active labor for 40 hours.
Well, yeah, it's because there are stages. Like,
right.
Yeah, I mean, at first there's contraction and there's different stages on that. So it's like when does it get real? Is when you start counting. It's like
exactly.
Muhammad Ali, answered when people ask him how many push-ups can you do or how many sit-ups can you do, and he's like, I don't start counting until it hurts. So it's like funny. By the time it hurts, you might have done 50 or 60 or 150 already, and then start counting. So it's like when things are just. But again, I've never had a kid, and I probably never will. So
probably
different, different people can decide when they think, like if they want to say they had, one labor for 50 hours. I mean, there's a lot of reason why they might want to say that versus some that had pretty much the same experience, but decide to say labor was only 8 hours because up to that point there wasn't really anything that they felt like they couldn't handle or that was like unbearable. But then again, it's the mom preference on how they decide where that timeline start.
Well, and also when we were talking about the stages of labor, if that already sounds like a foreign phrase to you, that is something that I learned in my birthing course that I took, and he learned through our doula. So we went through it. Like, this was something that we discussed, that there were, 4 stages of labor, and this is what's gonna, and I thought, oh yeah, that basically everything happens in the first 2 stages. Like the third stage is recovery, and the third stage is birthing the placenta, and the 4th stage is recovery. So the first 2 stages is when it all goes down. And that's something we didn't even know. But when we found that out, that made us go into this process so much more peaceful, because we were like, okay, cool. Even if there's something randomly unexpected, like we're going to understand what is happening because we have so much information that we've been given. And I think that's what people go into, is that especially like our parents' generation and especially our grandparents' generation, they didn't have all of these resources and online coursework and other birthing coaches and doulas and midwives and things like that. So they didn't really understand what that was happening to them, and the doctors would just be like, oh, okay, this is what you need to do, and this is, you need to take this, and I need to take this, and oh, the baby's heart rate's not going well, and then all of a sudden it just leads to like all of these medical interventions and complications, and then they're like, yep, well, we got to save the baby's life, and it's like, how did we get here? So I think that's what we really didn't want, is we didn't want to get to a point where everything was out of our control and we were just trying to save our lives.
Yeah.
And everyone goes, well, you know, I mean, if you have to get a C-section, like, don't say no to it. And it's like, yeah, we were open to all of that. Like, we did not go into it saying, we're not doing this, we're not doing this, we're not doing this. But we didn't feel like we needed to do those things if we were going to do the things intentionally that we had planned. And that's what we want to talk about today, is there are really some things that you can do that make a difference in how medical interventions are administered. Yeah. So it started to the early
Saturday
morning of Saturday.
morning at 2 o'clock in the morning is when everything started.
Which is exciting because it's an 11, and 11's our number. Like, we met on 11/11, we got married on April 11th. And so, like, we were like, oh my God, is he going to be born on an 11? Like, that would have been so cool. But we're okay that he wasn't, because he had his own day. But, like, we were excited to get things moving because we were already 1 week over.
Yeah.
And that was a huge thing too, is that my induction, I don't even want to really say that because I didn't want to be induced. Yeah. And I had a very holistic doctor. First and foremost, make sure you like interview your doctor and you don't like you like him through the whole pregnancy, because if you don't and you go into your birth already feeling like you're not on the same team, that's a huge no-no. Yeah. So we were very excited. We had Dr. Harder, shout out to Dr. Harder. And he did get to a point where he was like, listen, based on like fluid levels and placenta and all of these things,
Which, I mean, the fluid level was great for...
Oh yeah, we had very high fluid levels, that helps.
I think when we measured it at the week pass, it was still at, I think, 20, which I don't know what that means.
Right, but they said it was so high.
But I think at that time, the number that would be issue was somewhere like in the low 10s.
Yeah. So it was like, like he's fine. He has everything he needs. He's comfortable in there.
But we were being checked extra that last week.
It was just that, the age of the placenta, after a certain time, it start to deteriorate. So when the pendulum start like going backward is when it's like, okay, now, it can't support life for that much longer.
Right.
We need to do something.
Because that's how he's being fed.
Yeah.
So my induction was supposed to be for that Monday, and he was born on Sunday.
Sunday night. Yeah.
How crazy is that? Sunday night! That's nuts. I didn't even think about that. Yeah. So he was born, yes, and it was Mother's Day, which everyone's like, oh, so cute. So, but that being said, so we really just made the cut. He was going to be 41 weeks. Yeah. And, but we were doing everything that we could. Again, you can Google all that stuff, curb walking, I was drinking the raspberry leaf tea to soften the cervix. That's huge. Like, I strongly believe that made a huge difference. So definitely do that. I was doing 2 a day, raspberry leaf tea in the morning and in the evening for at least a week or 2 before. But some people even start that early on. But I thought it might induce labor. So I was like, well, we'll just hold off until like the last couple weeks till we're ready. But it made a huge difference. They said that my cervix was ready to go. And I know a lot of women have trouble with that, and that's why they can't get the contractions to start. So the raspberry leaf tea made a huge difference. We were active. I was like up and down stairs. Like, I was not...
After that last checkup, the nurse suggested garlic.
So we did...
We don't know if that's what finally, the feather that broke the camel's back or whatever, or that, that kicked things into gear. But literally the night before, the Friday, we had like the biggest crawfish, garlic infused
type of
Yeah, because we do
dinner.
this hot and juicy Cajun
Yeah.
and
It was
stuff,
like a Cajun
and so everything
thing.
was there,
So
no
it was
raw,
like
but everything was cooked.
super garlicky.
Yeah,
And
it
that
was amazing.
You know, within I would say because if that was like 8, 9 o'clock at night and then 2 o'clock in the morning,
That's when things started.
hey, maybe it did. You know, at that point it was like I mean we were willing to try anything that made sense, not like really try anything.
Right.
So maybe it was the final like.
Yeah. So we go to sleep, you know, I don't know, midnight, something like that. I don't even remember. And I wake up. I mean, I think I just woke up to go to the bathroom like normal. Like I don't think it was anything, because I don't know if I felt anything, or maybe I felt like I think I was having like little pains or whatever, just like okay, something was happening. But I had been having that for a few days, like the Braxton Hicks is what they call it. And then when I woke up to go to the bathroom, there was some blood, and so that's when I knew it was something starting. That was the only indication that I was like, this is different from the past few days. Yeah. So I decided to hold off, and I didn't wake up Noelle until like I really felt like something was happening. And when I say something was happening, it was like when I felt like we needed to get the day started, and that was probably around 6:30. And obviously I didn't sleep much. But between 2 and 6, I had maybe 5 contractions. And when I say contractions, they lasted like 10 seconds.
I mean, yeah.
It wasn't anything crazy. So I was just like, okay, something's moving. Like I can feel like something's happening. And so then the reason I decided to wake him and get started earlier is my mother-in-law was staying with us, and I was like, we should get the day started.
Let's have a baby.
And like I wanted it to be peaceful. This is one of the things that I was told is very intentional to do. I wanted to have breakfast. I wanted to have a big breakfast because I didn't know when I was going to be eating a good meal next. And then I wanted to have like music playing. I wanted to take a shower because that was really important too, because I did not know when the next time I would have a really good shower. Just like normal stuff. So I was like, good, like you need a big meal, a good shower, positive environment. So it was like music playing, like everyone was excited, peaceful, calm. And I wanted to do that early on. I didn't want it to feel like, oh my gosh, I don't have time to do any of this.
No.
Like we weren't packing a bag, everything was already packed.
Yeah.
You know?
Weeks before.
So we get into, so then we get up.
Yeah.
You made like my favorite sausage and like all these different things. We had a really good breakfast. I took a shower, washed my hair, did all, like just took my time. Also, the hot water helps a lot. Just being in water and hot water was great. And then we were gonna hang out at the house for a while, but we decided not to.
Yeah.
Because like things weren't really.
I don't know exactly what time we then decided to head over to your dad.
I want to say it was like 12:01. Everything we need for the birthing center, because the idea is that like really not to come back here. Yeah, so we have all you put the cooler box in there, the placenta stuff.
Yeah.
I've got the coolers. We don't have buttons.
Button, no.
Okay.
Button.
Go grab him.
Oh, I'll get it. He's on the couch.
Yep, go grab him. That's all right.
The white and black?
Yeah.
Oh.
We have the car seat.
They're not gonna give you the baby today. Even you.
Well,
have the
no,
baby
for
today.
sure. I really want to avoid him having to come back and forth. Like I told him, I said, pack a small bag so you can just stay.
Stay the whole time? The whole 2 days or 3 days?
I'm probably only going to be there for a day.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
two.
if you go natural, you're not
Maybe two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By tomorrow afternoon, if you deliver this afternoon, by tomorrow afternoon, they'll kick you out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. They don't keep you long here.
No.
No, but I said for him, he needs just like a change of underwear, toothbrush, like he's super chill. But I said, there's no need for you to come all the way back here 30 minutes just to grab one thing. Like just let's figure it out, you know? So, thank you. So we did that. So that was fine. We got there. I would say the thing that drove me nuts the most was just like, it felt like I was a ticking time bomb. And the moms were just like, what's happening? What's going on? And I was like, okay, that was starting to get to me. But other than that, I would have a contraction and I'd have to like stop and breathe through it. maybe lasted at most 20 seconds now.
All right, let's go take a nap. And then we can wake up and maybe eat some steak.
Right, so they were they were a little bit more frequent, but even...
That's been 12 hours from 2 a.m. to now 2 p.m.
Right.
Yeah.
See, so that's the thing. I wouldn't even count those 12 hours.
Yeah, so those 12 hours, yeah.
Right. I would not even count those 12 hours. So then, I mean, at this point, like, speeding it up a little bit, we decide, also, no, huge thing that made a difference. Every single time I had a contraction, this was just helpful for me mentally and physically. Every time I had a contraction, I would go to the bathroom. And what that did, what my birthing coach told me, is that was opening up my cervix even more every single time, because I was allowing myself to not hold it in and tense my muscles. I was allowing them to release. And so we decided, just for my mental health, let's just go to the birthing center, because I've never gotten a cervical exam yet. And most women get them like when they're 38, 39 weeks, like they're already got them. And I was like, I just didn't want them. And I didn't think it was necessary, and my birthing coach didn't either. So finally we're like, let's go. Let's see how many centimeters I'm dilated, just for, shits and giggles.
That was around 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
524.
Yeah. Wow, you guys work in military time?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know hospitals worked on military time. That made me feel so much better.
Yeah. Let's have a baby. Oh, okay.
It's like, hey. You're like, okay.
Okay.
So that was 5:38, because then my last one was, let me see what my last one was. But again, it's not that long, this one.
Yeah.
5:38, so that was exactly, my last one was 5:28.
And I think also being at a house was good. Being at your dad also a step better, but being here, it's like, well, there's no reason to hold back anything.
Seriously,
Yeah.
let's just do this.
Yeah, it's just like,
What are we
if you want
doing?
to swim out, go ahead, do your thing. Like, we don't have to be any other places.
Right.
Yeah, we're not, yeah.
Let's get it done. Yeah. I mean, but then also I really thought his head was lower. I thought the cervix was lower. 5:43. Oh, sitting just cramps it.
All I have to do is go outside and get all the equipment, and we can have a party.
Yeah.
I got my little cart, load everything in there.
Oh yeah, you have your little car.
One-stop shop,
I love that.
one trip.
That's amazing. I was wondering how we're gonna get everything up here. Forgot about your cart. So brilliant. So brilliant.
Big brain stuff.
Big brain stuff. I'm gonna start saying that. That is so funny. Big brain stuff. So catch you up on big brain stuff with Alex. So he's like, I mean, just keep me posted. I said, let's just figure it out when I call you. So don't come running right now, because, what if he
There's
doesn't-
enough people.
Well, not just that. Alex would actually be a calming. Like, he'd be like, let's watch Will and Grace. But, and he would actually, like, Mom would, because Mom, this is what Mom does. She focuses on me until Alex shows up, and then all of a sudden she's like, I don't know what to do. Right? And so all of a sudden, especially the state of mind Alex has been in the last few weeks, and she hasn't seen him since the baby shower, he might go crazy, but she's gonna slowly sneak in and get her fill of Alex. So that could help me, but because Alex isn't gonna be in the room with us, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's what I told him too. I was like, I don't want you sitting here in a waiting room. Okay, for my own peace of mind and calming my anxiety, how does this go next?
So triage is Emily. So you came last time for NST, correct?
I did, so we were here.
Okay. So you're saying that early labor.
Well, my question is I believe it's early labor. This is my first baby, so really don't know what to expect. I assume that you guys are going to do some kind of a cervical exam
Yeah, she'll probably check you if needed.
to see how far along I am.
Yeah, dilated. Yeah,
Okay.
she's gonna check how dilated you are. If you're not dilated, she'll basically go over what you would expect in active labor, things like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and then if you are dilated and you're in active labor, then you go to a private room.
Right, then I
here-
can get my room and
Yeah.
we can just settle in.
Basically.
That's kind of what we're hoping.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I know
Do you have an induction scheduled or anything like that?
yeah, on Monday, but
On
we're
Monday?
not we're past that thought point yet. That he's going to come either today or tomorrow for sure.
Okay. Oh, okay, nice. But yeah, she already knows about ODR 11 and 12. Those are both available right now. I let her
Lovely.
know ahead of time.
11 is preferred. That's our number.
Okay.
And since it is 11, I mean.
And since it's May 11th, like
Oh yeah. Mother's Day's tomorrow too.
I'm telling
Yeah.
you, girl, it is lining up. Okay. What is your name?
My name's Kat.
Kat.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Kat.
Nice to meet you. The shift change is at 7 p.m. Just so you know. So might be
Get
another
a whole new
nurse.
set of people.
Yeah, a night shift basically.
That's fine.
And then shift change for a day shift. UCs at 6 a.m. and techs, and then nurses are at 7 p.m.
7 a.m. you mean?
7 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
7 to
Come on.
7. Yeah.
So 7. Okay.
yeah.
Oh,
And
that's
then
easy.
you are going to see a laborist today.
I'm going to see a.
Laborist, so she is a physician. That
And what
she's
does they do?
They do basically a triage. So triage is our ER for our moms. There are ER nurse, ER doctor. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and if you're active labor, they just call Dr. Harder right away.
Oh, okay.
Well, that was another thing because the office is closed today, obviously. So I figured you guys were in charge of calling him.
Yeah.
I have my doula that's going to come. I kind of wanted to wait to let her know until I find out what's going on here. Because even like our family is kind of waiting to find out, like, don't come here if they're going to send us back home. But you
Yeah.
won't send us back home. You would just keep us here in triage.
In triage, well, if you're not in active labor, they evaluate everything. She'll answer all your questions as well, and then from there they'll determine if you go home or if you stay.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you still could send us home.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah. So I normally run a little bit low, and my
Okay.
blood pressure has been amazing the whole pregnancy.
Can I do
so
that
I'm
for,
not,
for me a little bit, Dad?
It is because I'm
Just so
a
we're
little
not showing the
anxious.
goodie. Okay, that sounds good. Go ahead and lift your leggies for me.
Yeah.
She's gonna get you on the monitor, okay?
Okay.
So no medical history, you said, no surgical history at all. What, do you take any medications? Prenatal vitamins?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Do you know if your GB is positive or negative?
Negative.
Perfect.
No gestational diabetes.
Love
Baby
it.
is super active. He's going to perform for you all as he has for every other nurse.
I love it. Any allergies for you?
Nope.
Okay. And how much do you weigh?
135. But in a couple of days, it's going to be way less.
Yes, it is. Any complications?
Also, all of you guys have been amazing since we've done the NSTs and everything. I'm like very
Perfect.
excited to have all of you guys are so great.
I feel like this is the best place to have a baby. So.
Right?
Yes, it is. It is.
I mean, we got so blessed to be referred to Dr. Harder
pregnant here.
and didn't even know because I was looking for something very holistic and very like.
He's,
Yeah,
he's
that's
pretty
him.
much always
Yeah,
that.
he's great.
Yeah,
He's
that's
great, and all of you guys are the same. We had Michelle yesterday
Okay.
and Dr. Grundy,
Mm-hmm.
and both of them. They're like, yeah, people don't usually get me. I'm like, people don't usually get me.
Yeah.
I was like, thank you for saying that.
We got you.
No, I love it.
Okay, so you're doing. Oh, you're associating.
So now I'm associating you.
Okay.
So I just make sure, even if I'm not associated with the monitor, I get a blood pressure as soon as I can, and then because we can talk while we're getting them on the monitor.
15.
Mm-hmm.
Do you mind just pulling on my patient?
Not at all. Thank you.
Finish associating this.
Also, I did do the pee, obviously.
Okay. Yeah.
I made
Perfect.
the
We
joke
might
about
not use it, but we'll check.
No, that's fine. Honestly, I've been keeping myself so hydrated that like she's like, I know you just peed, so it might be a while. I was like, no, I'm just gonna go do it. I'm pretty sure there's enough there. Yeah, and it was good.
Okay.
That's a good
So
thing.
that's a very good thing.
Yeah, we put 4 or 5.
Oh my god, look at us.
It's like 4 to 5. Like I tend to be a little bit more conservative because most of the time I have little fingers and someone comes behind me and go, no, that's 4. You know what I mean?
Fine. I'm still shocked even with the 4.
But your cervix can stretch out pretty well. Like it's
Mine?
a good cervix. Yeah, like that's a good labor
girl.
cervix.
I love that.
We're
I got
still
that
gonna give
good.
So,
Hi.
we're about 5 centimeters.
And I have the best cervix in town.
You what?
I have the best cervix in town. We got that good over here.
Uh,
Oh my god.
6:30, 6:24 is when I sent the text, and it was you were 4 to 5 centimeters dilated
4 to
at
5.
that time. So
That's basically halfway.
I mean, the idea was let's go get a check and see where it is. If it's still, in the early stages, then we can come back home and.
Well, they would send us back. They wouldn't admit us.
Yeah.
So we were like, if they admit us, like, we're rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
Like, that's great. And I wanted to there's only 2 rooms with a tub, a birthing tub, and I really wanted one. So I was like, the sooner we check in, the sooner I can get my tub.
Right, correct. Yeah.
So we're gonna go this way. Okay. And if you need to stop for whatever reason, you guys know what should we go walking actually.
Like you're wearing a cape.
So you're a dancer? Okay. You said we're dancers though, right?
Still are. Well, since then we haven't been dancing.
Not well, no, but not as
She meant you are too.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Please. Yeah,
we
you said we're dancers, and I was like,
Yeah, we are. Oh yeah, no, he performs for all the nurses. He was like, he already knows his job.
so he's probably like one that guy I saw in the video of like dancing outside. Kind of like those ones.
Yeah, the little ones.
11.
Never mind. I was like, no, I was like, why did we go to 12? Because 12 is just there.
I'm sorry.
12 doesn't have a bed.
Right.
Oh, it's nice and warm in here.
It is nice. I love
Yeah,
it.
it said it's 75 degrees, so
It feels great. We like it warm.
the thermostat's here.
Okay.
Okay.
So sorry, that's the light switch. Thermostat's right here.
Yeah, I saw that. What's the lighting situation? Is this it, or do we have some mood lighting?
So
Hello.
So are you gonna be our main nurse?
Yes.
Yes, I'm gonna be our main nurse. I'm gonna be running in and out because I do have another patient.
No, you're good. We don't need to be babysat.
It's not that.
Oh, okay. No, you are totally.
I mean, is the tub for everyone?
No, it's for the patient.
it's
Oh.
for everybody. You want to get in?
And also once you're like about 8 centimeters, you can't get in the tub anymore.
Okay.
Just because it's really hard because there's that transition state.
I know.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's really hard to get you in and out of the tub, especially. This is not really like labor friendly. Like
It's not.
Whoever designed this was a man.
Thank you.
Who never had a child.
Right.
It's okay. It's okay.
My stepmom's an energy worker, so she's gonna pop in as well.
No worries.
Oh, so I have to pop in, right? Okay.
As long as as long as you want them here.
Well, there's only 2 people that are allowed to be here. The moms and the dads. Not a chance.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah.
As long as you tell me, hey, I don't want these people.
Yeah,
I can be like, no, but it's hard when, there's 7 of us at the nurse's station.
So we check in. We get our room. What's our room number?
11.
What? 11 on the 11th? Stop it. I can't. So, yeah, we got our tub. Amazing. Super excited. Noelle comes in, sets up purple lights, my favorite color. Soft bachata music. Like, the nurses came in and they were like, ooh, it's a vibe in here. From the time that we were
And
in
then
the
just
waiting
wait.
room to us getting checked, even just the getting checked took about 35 minutes. I
Yeah.
mean, it was a long time.
Yeah.
And then they got us in the room. I mean, I remember I was like, I want to call my brother. And it still took us like 35 minutes just for them to get everything, like,
Yeah.
where they weren't like, oh, I got to take this, I got to
Yeah,
do this,
because
I got to
they
do
had
that.
to put something around your stomach to monitor his heart rate. to make
Right.
And
They had to
at
put
first-
my IV in, they
Yeah.
had to do all the things.
Yeah. And, finding out which one works best, because if you're going to be in the tub, then they give you a wireless one that can also be submerged. And then when you come out, they need to check it again. So it was like
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
all
yeah.
these things dialed in so that way, because again, they don't know how fast things were going to move. It could
Right.
be within the next hour or two, he's here, or it could be within the next 10 hours. So it's like,
Which sounds wonderful. It's like, cool, let's get this done.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest with you, like, I was happy that it kind of took its pace, because the only thing for me that was always on a ticking clock was how many calories I was getting per hour, how much energy I was going to have for the end of this road. But other than that, I was like, I can't have this whole process happen in 3 hours. My brain and my physical body cannot handle that.
hey, and
speed.
maybe that would have been, good as well, because by the time you could comprehend what's happening, you already have a baby, and then you just forget everything that already happened because it happened so quickly.
Yeah. I guess. I don't know. To
That
each
could
their
work
own.
too.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
so what's happening at that point?
Let's see, after that.
So for what I remember is like we're in the tub for like 20, 30 minutes at a time, and then I would get out and then just kind of walk around.
Yeah, and then I think it got to a point where now we're trying to figure out as far as food, because now the parents were gonna come to the birthing center.
Yeah. Because you needed to eat. Because
Yeah.
he hadn't eaten yet. So for me, here's what I was doing also, and my mom said this too. She's like, I can't believe they allowed you to eat, and I was like, that to me just seems bananas. No pun intended with the food, but that you cannot.
Bananas was the only thing allowed.
Right? No. That seems crazy. Even my
Yeah.
birthing coach, I mean, unless you do it at your house, that you can eat whatever you want. But I just don't understand how you can go through this marathon of a physical exhaustion and not fuel your body. Like the fact that they're just like, you can only be on ice chips and all this stuff. Well, we were not in a place like that. And I made sure to ask my doctor, I was like, I can eat. Like I asked him like at our second appointment, I was like, I can eat during birth, right? Yeah. So when I say eat, I'm eating like applesauce.
Yeah.
Bone broth is huge because it's got so much protein in it. They would just heat it up for me. I had brought them a big old thing they would keep in the fridge, and they would heat some up for me. I had bananas. I had crackers. I had, I had like, not even protein bars. It's just, I wanted things that had high protein in them or carbs.
Yeah.
Something that would just give me energy. Yeah. So, I mean, I think I made a list of those in my podcast.
But it couldn't be like steak.
Yeah, right. I couldn't have,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like
unless you blended it, but yeah.
Yeah, it needed to be like, they were like, just make good choices. Like, don't make it crazy. So, like mashed potatoes, things like that.
Yeah.
So, we're eating.
And you had those honey sticks.
That's it, the sugar. That was really good. The honey sticks. So, yeah, so we're going. I mean, now we're like near like the evening.
Yeah.
Basically, he's like, and this is crazy because if we're now near almost 9:30, it's still going to be 24 hours until he's born.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We're still in the first day.
Yep.
And it seems nuts.
We're having a change of nurses.
Right, because the nurses are on a 12-hour shift.
Yeah.
And we had
3 sets. So we had one that was finishing from 5 o'clock to 9:30
finishing.
And then we had another one from then until 6 a.m.
Who was also pregnant.
Yeah.
That was nuts.
Yeah.
And she was amazing, and she helped me when it got real.
Yeah.
And then our last one was Lisa, who's our like nurse of all nurses.
I mean, and Lisa was also the one that give us the tour when we went to the birthing center.
Oh my God, love
a couple
her
weeks
so
before.
Much. Shout out to Lisa. She's an angel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had amazing nurses, like absolutely amazing nurses, and so then what happened? And just so for those of you wondering, we were at Centennial Hills. They have an amazing labor and delivery floor there with incredible nurses and doctors. But that's where Dr. Harder delivered. So that I really didn't have a choice. But at the same time, like I could tell that like when we did the tour, they told us about all the delayed cord clamping and the golden hour and all the things that we wanted. Like everything sounded like us.
Yeah.
So I was like, cool. Like we can totally
a lot of
work
things
here.
that we learned and that we decided we wanted, we didn't have to really advocate for it because it was their normal procedure. So it was just like, great. I guess we won't be fighting anyone. So even one less thing to worry about, and especially during stressful time to have to remember and do this, and then don't forget to do this, and it was everything that they were going to do anyway. So it was just like
they're like, that's just our normal protocol, and that is what also helped us. Like, oh my gosh, like we're going to go into this in the best case scenario.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of women don't have that. They go, well, this is the one that's covered by insurance.
Yeah.
I don't have a choice.
Or the regulations and rules of the state or the hospital, because again, hospitals are private, so it's like not all of them have to do everything the same way. So they can choose based on their, again, the hospital has to have insurance based on what the insurance suggests. All those things don't need to go deep into that, but. Yeah,
and then the woman doesn't get to advocate for herself, and then the husband wants to advocate for the wife, but again, his hands are tied because he's just fighting the system.
Well, that's the thing. The doctor's hands are tied.
That's it. Yeah.
Because they have. I mean, it's their job. They have to do.
Right.
I mean, some of them can say they're doing it to the benefit of the baby and the mom's safety, which there's a limit. There's to a certain point that is true, but before that, it's just sometimes it does feel like, and sometimes it is, let's get this thing going because, we have other people that needs this road.
Right. But our doctor, Dr. Harder, has he has the lowest C-section rate in the state. Like he's number one. And so And he prides himself on that. He's like, there's no need for it. And I will say, even with as long as I was in labor, actually not even as long as I was in labor, once my water broke, as long as I was past the water breaking, our parents were both like, oh my gosh, anywhere else you would have had a C-section, no questions asked.
Because now we were talking about the switching of nurses, which is somewhere around 9:30. So our nurse that checked us in and did all the preparation, they're now going home. So we have this new nurse coming from around like 9, I think it was probably a little earlier. I think it might have been like 7 or 8.
I think it was 7. I think it's 7 to 7 is their shifts.
And then, so we have this new set of nurses going until the next day. So everything, same thing, checking now every hour or so.
I was going to say, now we're doing more cervical checks.
Yeah.
So we don't have we don't really have a choice in that, but we also kind of want to know. So at this point, like now early evening or even late evening, 9, 10, like I'm basically
6.
Close to 6.5.
Yeah.
Like it's progressing.
Which,
for sure.
I mean, because we didn't do one from 2 a.m. until 5 p.m. on the Saturday, we don't know how it happened to 5 within that 12 hours ish. Well, more than 12 hours, more like 14 hours. But between check-in to like 9:30, 10 o'clock p.m.
I had already gone up at least 2.
Well, from
1.5.
Yeah, 1.5.
1.5. But I think the 2 main things that helped a lot was the raspberry leaf tea that helped, because your cervix has to move out of the way in order, or the lining has to move out before your cervix opens. So if that is, like, you have to be effaced before you dilate, is what they say. So I was already effaced very quickly because of the raspberry leaf tea, and then going to the bathroom every time I had a contraction in early labor helped just to keep opening it up. So by the time we got to our first check, it was almost 5. Yeah. And I do think that both of those things had a huge thing to do with it. Yeah. So then my water breaks.